Once upon a time, a village full of poor peasants was farming their wheat. Within this village, there was a young man named Nigel. Nigel hated to farm, but he liked not starving. It was the only way for him to grow food. He once dreamed of capturing his landowner's land and keeping it for himself. Nigel had been farming for many months of the year, even through the hot summers of England. After all of the work he and his fellow peasants had put in, the crops had an underwhelming yield. The harvest failed. The result of this failure was a famine for the entire village due to the lack of reserves. Bad harvests happened once every few years in his village, and they forced his village to survive off of famine foods such as bark and delicious dandelions. In the past, the village had used the open field system, which left the fields public, allowing all the families in the village to work together. Animals were put into pastures, also called common lands. This was where the animals grazed. With the addition of new crops that eliminated the fallow, animals received more feed, making them healthier. The healthy animals had a wide effect on the village. They provided food and fertilizer, allowing for more efficient farming. Because of the wheat's toll on the soil, a fallow was necessary. A fallow is when the land is plowed and harrowed, but not sown to replenish the nitrogen in the soil. One year, a Dutch engineer decided to alternate grain with land-reviving crops such as beans, turnips, potatoes, clovers, and grasses. This enabled the peasants to farm the same land year in and year out. The fallow would finally become unnecessary, which would enable the village to grow more crops and feed more livestock. To divide the different crops, fences had been built in different sections of the farm. This was called enclosure, and it was the end of the open field system. The fields were divided up by wealthy landowners, and the peasants did not have enough money to buy the land back. The peasants were very upset about this, and they felt they lacked the rights they had maintained for hundreds of years. One day, Nigel strolled out of his section of the land. "Oh heavens!" said Nigel. "My land has been enclosed! What shall I do?" Nigel ran to the city commissioner as fast as he could. "My land has been closed," he yelled. "Calm down," said the commissioner. "We are starting enclosure." "No," said Nigel. "I'm a peasant. I don't have the money for this system. The cost of surveying and separating the land is too great. Now I'll have no farm." "It will be okay, Nigel," said the commissioner. "You only will have to work without pay for 6 days every week." "I hate this village," said Nigel, leaving the commissioner's home. The next day, Nigel walked to the house of Gordon, the wealthy landowner of his village. He sprouted an idea on the way. He was going to overthrow Gordon and keep the land for himself. He was tired of serfdom even before the first day. He entered Gordon's home during the late evening with his hoe with the intention to kill him, which he did. The English governor had received word of this treachery. In response, the marshal ordered the slaughter of Nigel and his fellow peasants.